Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 401 Sportsworld Show, the Fantasy Football Edition, Week 14. To my right is the calculator. I'm Mr. 411. What's going on, calculator?
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 401. Another. Well, sometimes I always say it's a wonderful day, but even the calculator has bad weeks. So.
Yeah, it happens to
it
us
is.
all if we hang
It
around long
is.
enough, calculator.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So,
But,
but
but
hey, I'm still here. We're still here for the people. So still got to do what we got to do.
that's right. It's December 13th, 2021. Let's get it. So we're gonna keep it quiet on that tip there. But before we get rolling, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you. We welcome you to the show, and we need you to do three little things for us.
Like, subscribe, notify.
Exactly. Couldn't say it any better, calculator. All right. Welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. Today we're gonna do our usual format. We're gonna have a little, talk about the studs and duds. We'll go over what fantasy managers need to do as far as the waiver wire for Week 15, and we'll, you know, take a look into our listener league as that league is the playoffs have begun, and there's some interesting things happening there. But welcome to the show, everyone. And with that calculator, it is now time to talk about our studs and duds.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me pull some of those up here. Get the producers ready to go. All right, let's start on a positive note. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these
It's always
studs.
good to start off
Calculator.
positive. I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, if you saw that game, you would 80% of his production was in the second half. It's like they finally figured out. It's like, hey, if they blitz, get rid of the ball or take off running. Because if you're blitzing, a lot of times it's man to man, and that's successful to rush the ball. So as you can see, he did it all. Dalvin Cook, I mean, he started you off right on a Thursday
Ooh,
night because I mean that Pittsburgh, they still hadn't been able to catch him. He was off and running. I mean, early and often, and he just and I was an unfortunate person that got to play him in two leagues. Last week. But if you know at the Pick'em show, we did say, even though a lot of people were saying he was out, there was whispers that he was going to return, and boy, did he did. And
did he?
George Kittle, man, and George Kittle, he shows that when Debo's not 100%, he can carry he can be Garoppolo's favorite target, and back to back. Tight end performances by Mr. Kittle and Tom Brady. Usual, you know, two touchdowns and his famous quarterback sneak and just another very uber efficient day. And that last touchdown, that could win some people weeks in that tight end, that touchdown at the end of the game. And Hunter Renfro, yeah, man, ever since they've been in catch up mode. Hunter
Yeah,
Renfro has been the guy. I mean, double digit targets, double digit catches, and now he's starting to add touchdowns. With Waller out, he is everything to the Raiders. So Hunter Renfro, another great job. Hey, as long as Waller out, Hunter Renfro is one of those must starts. Wide receiver
yeah.
one past 2 weeks.
Man, he's really exploded, man, and
Mm-hmm.
he's Wes Welker, reincarnated here, man. He
Yeah,
is
yeah,
definitely putting it together, having a
yeah.
having an excellent season.
And a lot of people kind of view him like a Cole Beasley type, but he's showing even more. I mean, if people remember, it seemed like he went to Clemson for 8 years because every
Yeah.
year you looked at him, he was in the national championship game catching touchdowns. Like, this guy ever going to graduate? You know, but he did, and he's showing that hey, he still knows how to get open.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's
mean,
getting the
you
job
know,
done.
yeah, not your typical, take the top off the defense, but he'll sit in that zone and he'll just gobble up all the passes. Huge in PPR formats.
Yes, sir. Calculator, calculator. That's what you just took the words out of my mouth, man. PPR, man. That's a PPR
Yeah.
machine. I mean, you
Yes.
get him in your flex position, and you're looking good.
Yes.
All right. Well, instead we're gonna go from looking good to the things that wasn't looking too hot this weekend,
Uh,
and the duds, my man. The
uh,
duds
and
in
you
Kansas
know,
City.
I mean, I just don't. How does Travis Kelsey going from the best tight end in the league to just? I mean, they're not even throwing to the guy anymore. I mean, granted, this game was out of reach early on, so they really didn't need him. But Travis Kelsey, I mean, for people were spending first round picks on him.
Yes, sir.
And he is definitely not produced up to it yet. Antonio Gibson, we always talk about game script proof running backs. Antonio Gibson showing that he is not game script proof because when they were getting the doors blown off of him, they took him out of the game. But the whole Washington offense in general, we don't see it on there. But Terry McLaurin, the goose
Yeah.
egg yesterday. I mean, he was so bad he couldn't even make the dud list. That's how bad he was. And then James Robinson, product of Urban Meyer and that dysfunction. I mean, James Robinson is the best weapon they have on that team, most proven weapon, and they don't use them. I have no, I can't defend Urban Meyer. I like the hire. The man won in college, but I don't see it's not translating to the NFL. Dalton Schultz, again, we talk about game script proof. Now we're talking about team makeup when Dalton Schultz. When all the receivers for Dallas are healthy, the tight end is pretty much phased out. Dalton Schultz's production was at the highest when Gallup was out, and then even more so when Lamb was out, and then Amari in and out. Now all the big guns are back for Dallas. That affects Dalton Schultz productivity, and it shows here. And Kareem Hunt, again, this game was more of they still wanted Kareem Hunt to kind of get healthy, and they didn't really need Baker to mess things up. So they said, hey, let's hand it off
Right.
to Nick Chubb. Let's play defense. Lamar Jackson's out. Let's not, and I think they were just trying to they're going to try and keep Kareem Hunt healthy because they know they're going to need him for their playoff run, especially with that division being as wide open as it is, especially because they're talking about Lamar Jackson being out 2 to 3 weeks with this ankle sprain.
Yeah. Yeah. And that whoa, that's major right there.
Yeah,
So
and
man,
even though he didn't make
these
our
duds, man.
list,
I'm
yeah,
just shocked. I'm shocked at
yeah,
Kelsey.
yeah. I mean, for those people that spent first round picks on him are really there. I mean, it's going. I guarantee you, he will not be a first round pick. Hey, if you want to take him in the first round of the league I'm in, you go right ahead. But I was actually defending him, saying, "Hey, he's as automatic as you can get." But that whole Kansas City offense in general, ever since the defense got good, offense went down. But they said, "Hey, we don't have to be good if our defense is winning games. Let's run the ball a little with CEH and Daryl." And CEH had another great game with two touchdowns. But even CEH, they love juggling their back, so there's not one big person coming out of that Kansas. The only people coming out of the Kansas City is the defense. So
Right.
that's so
Amazing.
and I'm a Tyreek Hill owner, and I can assure you, the league that I drafted Tyreek Hill in, I did not make the playoffs in that league. So I will
Yeah.
definitely go to the drawing board on a different draft strategy. Of course, I could say I drafted. Hey, at least Tyreek Hill's playing. A lot of people that drafted running backs, not named Jonathan Taylor or Austin Eckler, or Joe Mixon. Those guys aren't doing fairly well as well. But he wasn't on our stud list. But I do want to say, welcome back, Alvin Kamara. We should, that guy, man,
Yes.
he shows how valuable
Whew.
he is to an offense. I got to put my Saints plug in there, Mister 41.
Well,
So
calculator, man. Kamara did come back and he really toasted the Jets. I know
mhm.
Lacey's not, she's not gonna be too enthused about that information, but I mean, yeah, he came back looking excellent. And you know what? With him coming back, that really boosted the Saints offense. They looked a
Yeah,
lot
in general,
better
yeah.
when Kamara's on the field.
Well, just think about it.
Yes,
He
sir.
can manufacture first downs. And of course, the more first downs you get, the more chances you get, the more snaps you get, the more chances you get to get points. So it's just a snowball effect. Kamara being as big of a playmaker is, it trickles down to. That's why Taysom Hill was able to get more snaps and chance for points. And yeah, Taysom Hill didn't throw for any touchdowns, but he ran for two of them. And guess why he was able to run for them? It's because they started eyeing Kamara, and that left Taysom Hill to do his thing. So yeah, I think the Saints could be looking now. They do, the Saints, just for those people, they do have Tampa Bay and Miami, two tough defenses on the horizon. But Carolina in the championship game. And also, I want to just go preface this by saying, if you're listening to this podcast, congratulations, because I don't think you're listening to this podcast unless you're in the playoffs.
Right. Exactly. or unless you have to host a show.
but that's true. I got you.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's studs and duds. We're gonna, go to our next phase here. I mean, usually after the studs, and once you have to deal with those duds, like as you stated, the teams that are still in playoff mode, they have to hit the waiver wire calculator.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's go to that wire.
Yeah. And the good thing is, no more bye weeks. The bye weeks are over with, folks. So that's why we kind of have a short waiver wire. And short waiver wire is because, no major injuries except for Lamar Jackson. But if you have, we can always pick up quarterbacks from the waiver wire. So we're good with that. But they're not making our waiver wire column. But because we'd like to concentrate on guys that really can make a difference in playoff mode. And Rashad Penny, he was actually on our show last week. We said, hey, we know he's the most talented guy. He just always gets healthy. Well, we just saw what can happen when he gets the ball and doesn't get healthy. It can easily to forget that the Rashad Penny was once a hyped up fantasy running back. Unfortunately, like I've said, injuries completely derailed his career. But week 14 showed that a healthy Penny still has some juice, some really good juice at that. He ran Rashad. Yes, it was the Texans. But look at this efficiency. Only 16 attempts, but dang, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked healthy, and he looked electric. Hey, Alex Collins, Travis Homer, yes, they'll get their fair share of touches, but not even Pete Carroll can make up a scenario where Penny isn't the most talented option as long as he's healthy. He should lead this backfield of Seattle offense looking to improve going forward, and add him in the hope that he can make a big impact in the fantasy playoffs. Just give you a little think. Yes, Rams, tough run defense next week, but Chicago, AJ Dillon was able to run on them. Aaron Jones was able to get a rushing touchdown on them. But look at this. Week 17 for Seattle, the Detroit Lions. Tell me that isn't something I wouldn't. I don't care. A lot of running. If you have a flex spot open and you make it to the championship game and you were able to pick up Rashad Penny, hey, you can fire him up in that Detroit matchup. Because not only is it Detroit, it's Detroit at home. So, yeah. So,
oh man, yeah, that's a bang for your buck there. With
and currently he's only 19% rostered 411. So I guess the 19% that rostered him were the people that listened to our podcast last week, Mr.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's why we try to get them to early before something like we always say, try to pick these guys up early before they go off, and that's when they're the cheapest. So, but another guy I want to pick on is a pickup is one more guy. Hey, he was on a bye week, so he might still be out there. There we go, Mr. 411, Mr. Producer. Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver, New England Patriots. He's only 30% rostered. Yeah, it might seem counterproductive to recommend a Patriots receiver after the team delivered in their last game, only throwing 3 times, right? But hey, Bourne has been as close to a number 1 target for New England as it get. Outside of that wild game at Buffalo, Bourne had delivered 6 straight 4+ target games and caught at least 4 balls in 5 of those. Yes, he was widely dropped in leagues suffering from the bye week this past week and from thinking, hey, they only threw 3 times. I don't want anybody in that passing game. But hey, I think that's a mistake. Patriots take on Indianapolis in week 15. Indy shuts down the run so you can pass against them. And they take on Buffalo again in week 16. And hey, Buffalo's going to make sure they're going to make Mac Jones throw the ball that game, and I think that's what will give Bourne a chance to produce. So I really like him in his next two matchups. So, and last call, I briefly talked about him. The Miami Dolphins defense. Again, they were on a bye week last week. 45% owned. I love the picture, Miss 411. There's a
Yes, sir.
sentence I never thought I'd write, but anything goes in playoff time, folks. And it's hard to ignore just how good the Dolphins defense has been of late. The unit has completely transformed since a week 8 loss at Buffalo. They scored double-digit fantasy points in 3 of their last 5 games, including a monstrous 23-point outing against Carolina. And guess what? They get the Jets this week, and they get the Taysom Hill led Saints in Week 15. Yes, we know the Saints can score, but they're not the big juggernaut that Taysom Hill just 2 weeks ago threw 4 interceptions. So hey, expect some more splashy performance. I love that when the cornerbacks for Miami are healthy, they love to play man to man because there were 2 shutdown cornerbacks, and then they blitz, and then they blitz some more. And Flores is from that Belichick tree to where he knows how to run a defense. And they've showed that when healthy, they are a different. And hey, I can tell you right now, in one of my playoff matchups, I'm already looking ahead. I'm playing against the Miami defense, so I might be in a bad mood next week, Mister 411,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
if they show up. So, but yeah, Miami defense, last call. They're 45% owned. I have a feeling they'll be flying off the waiver wires this week when everybody sees who they're playing next week.
Yeah, amazing calculator. Amazing. The wire, man, it's amazing how the season has so much flow to it, and you just never know who you're gonna need throughout the season. Because who would have thought when the season started? Rashad Penny,
Yeah,
Bourne. You know what I'm saying? It's like all
yeah,
these things. Even Miami. Like now you have to rock with Miami. They may be called the Miami Pound Machine. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
you know, maybe the defense has been on the rise. So, those are good, excellent pickups right there. So if you hit that like, subscribe, notify, you'll be in the know. Thank you, calculator, for that information. We also need to thank our sponsor,
Yes,
and that's
sir.
Heavenly Spa Mobile, 2484 Ingleside Avenue, Building A, Suite 101A, Macon, Georgia, 31204. Latanya can be reached at 478-747-9231. That is 478-747-9231. Heavenly Spa Mobile, where relaxation is the key. If you don't believe me in the calculator, Latanya will tell you herself.
Hi, I'm Latanya with Healthy Spa Mobile. I'm a licensed massage therapist and owner. I've been practicing 18 years. If you're in need of any stress relief, tension, muscle, body aches, or just want to relax, you need to get yourself a massage. And please come check me out again at Heavenly Spa Mobile. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue. And I can be reached at 478-747-9231. Or you may go online to healthyspa-mobile.com. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. We thank
All
Heavenly
right.
Spot Mobile. We thank Heavenly Spot Mobile for everything that they do, calculator. They are the best of the best. 3 years running. We congratulate them as also the best of Georgia nominee. And as I stated earlier, the best of the best, 3 years running. They're doing the Chicago Bulls there, the back to back to back.
Repeat.
Those three peats, yes, sir. And calculator, we talk about this every time, but I mean, man, 1 hour for just $70 intro special. So if you haven't visited Heavenly Spa Mobile, we heavily, well, I mean, we do, but we heavily, you know, recommend that you reach out to Heavenly Spa Mobile and take advantage of that intro special. It's only $70. You can get the Swedish, or you can get the deep tissue massage. Yes, sir. And calculator.
Yeah.
It's more than an hour, though, right?
The hour is the actual procedure, but it lasts you for the whole week. I will say this over and over again. There's 2 things you can do to relieve stress: exercise and get a massage. Now
Yes,
if you want to go and exercise all you want, but I like to get the relaxation part of getting the stress relief. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah,
exactly.
and it'll last you. And like I said, you feel like a new person. You have to drink that water afterwards just so you can rehydrate because of all that energy getting released out of you. It could drain you. So that's why it's like I feel like a new person. So yeah, it might be a 60-minute procedure, but the effects of it last throughout the whole week.
Yes, sir. That's right. A whole week. So check out Heavenly Spa Mobile. We thank them for all that they do for Formula Sports World. Calculator, it is time, man, to discuss our listener league.
Uh,
We are in the playoffs, and I
I,
know it brings a lot of heartache. You
Mr.
know,
41. Now I feel like you felt last week, my friend.
my goodness, yes, sir. I
Yeah,
mean, I know we have to get this, man. We have to
yeah,
take our medicine on this one.
yeah.
But we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say about our listener league calculator.
Mhm. So, well, do you have it pulled up?
Well, I'm waiting on the producers to do their job
Okay.
here.
Well,
We
while he's
just paid
doing
our
it, as you can
sponsor.
see,
We just paid
the
our sponsor,
calculator
so there
has
it is.
the calculator has have fallen. The injuries to McCaffrey, to AJ Brown, and the subpar performance of Patrick Mahomes finally kept caught up with the calculator. So I am out. It looks like Town Ballers looks like he gets. Why why do I have to play the big scoring team, Mister 411? How do I get that?
Uh,
But hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna take my medicine. I'm gonna go home and wish the bed. I really don't see anybody. The only person that I could have seen beating Captain Cosmo this year would have been somebody like Larry, who, I'll
ooh.
say it for. I mean, look at Larry. He's still scoring 143 points, and he ain't even play.
He
I
unpacked
mean,
his bags.
yeah, he did. I was like, and just to shout out to Larry, so they don't get discouraged. I did some research in this, and there is a 6% chance a team leads the league in scoring and not make the playoff. 6% chance. You will not. I can assure you. Look at this. Take a print screen, save it because it can be done. Larry had definitely the most unfortunate season I have ever seen. I had a season like similar, wasn't quite like that. Similar in my own personal home league last year. I was the second highest point and missed the playoffs. So it can happen. But that was actually, 20% that you can be second in point. 6% goes down all the way to 6% chance that what happened in the listener league, Mr. 411. So that's just mind-boggling that happened. But I want to congratulate my nemesis, Enron. He took one of my old names and used it against me, and it looks like that power worked to his favor. He will go on, and but Captain Cosmo, he's a good friend of mine as well, and I will be cheering him on as well because he had a wonderful season. He's withstood some injuries, and he looks. I mean, because and now he's got his top player back too to add to his playoff run. So but hey. Good luck to all the people still left, but I will be. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, and yes, just taking a look at Captain Cosmo, he's definitely in the running for manager of the year. He had
Yes.
several excellent pickups throughout the season that
Mhm.
paid off, and even that Jamar Chase right there, man, that was awesome. He
Yeah.
he really made some moves, man, and like you said, Kamara, he's back, and
Yeah.
then look at the tight
And,
end,
and, and see,
key
that's just
pickups
to
throughout
show
the
you.
year. Captain Cosmo,
Yeah, he
yeah,
he showed that the it doesn't end with the draft. He knew that hey, he has to work the waiver wire because you're going to have injuries. Kamara was out for a while, so his waiver wire picks up. His stepped in, did their job, and now he can enjoy the benefits that hey, it got him a number one seed, got him a first round bye. Got to the wonderful thing about first round bye is it takes any luck out of the equation in a week you don't have to play. so so you're seeing the next round. But yeah, congratulations to all the ones still in it, and
yeah,
interested to see how this one turns out. And of course, we'll be talking about it next week on next week's show to let our listeners know who survives and advances.
That's right. And you know what, calculator? I do want to mention about Gregory D here. 165 points. It is in the consolation bracket, the NIT, if you will.
Mm.
But, this is his first year playing. And
Yeah.
I like the fact that 4-9 record, but he had a couple tough losses throughout the season. His record could have been closer to 500, but he's still battling out here. And to put up 165, and I like to share that with a lot of the fantasy managers, even if you're eliminated, myself included. You can still play out
end.
these weeks, play it to the
Yes.
end. Practice on what some decisions that you would make. There's nothing to lose at this point, so just use these weeks as like they do in college. They use the bowl season as their live practice games. So go ahead and finish out the season all the way, because you never know.
Absolutely.
That whatever you learn this week or even next week, if you're still playing in constellation brackets, you can use those techniques to help you into next season. So,
absolutely, you can always get better, and
yes, sir.
Practice makes perfect. Making moves makes things easier. Research, you can always improve on research for the next year. It's like, okay, how do I do that? Well, just move around, pick up, drop. But hey, we're even if you ever get eliminated from playoffs early, like Gregory did. Gregory, I give him respect, because remember that matchup? He was in last place. He went up against Captain Cosmo and beat him by like 80 points.
Yeah.
We thought it was going to be a blowout, and it was a blowout just the other way. So hey, nobody wanted to face Gregory. They were glad he got eliminated because he was one of the hottest teams in the league down the stretch.
That's right. That's right. And you can see about across the bottom, our fantasy shows are usually on Tuesdays. They'll still air. This will re-air as well. But we had to get some things done, due to the production and the networks and things like that. So we had to get our show in on tonight. So like I said, if you hit that like, subscribe, notify, you'll get this information right now. Everyone else, if you tune in on Tuesdays, you'll still get this show. But just want to make sure we share that information with you all. We definitely appreciate everyone. But also, you can catch us on Crossing the Lines, too. You can catch the calculator and Mr. 4-on-1 as we help fatten your pockets with the friendly wagers. So we have some interesting things to talk about on that. And
yes, we do.
So stay tuned for that as well. All right, calculator. We have a comment, and we'd like to thank the listener, Mark. We would like to thank Mark. I'm going to put his comment out here. I want to make it nice and big for everybody to see. Mark says, I know it's early, but start two. Ayuk, Mooney, Osborne, Pittman. He's kind of leaning toward Pittman and Ayuk.
Yeah. Well, but first off, Mark, if you're asking a start sit question, that means you are in the playoffs. So congratulations. But when I'm looking at this, you got to look at matchups, right? So San Francisco has the Atlanta Falcons. That's a start for Ayuk. So that is one guy you can get. The thing that worries me about Osborne is, yes, his target share went up, but with Dalvin Cook back, they love to run the ball down at the goal line. Yes, he did catch a touchdown, a long touchdown. That's not going to happen every week. They got the Bears. Rivalry games kind of scare me. So I don't like Mooney or Osborne being in a rivalry week. So I'm actually with you. I like Pittman because Pittman's almost a must start every week just because he is the number one receiver. Yes, it's a run dominated offense. However, he is a target hog. However, they are playing the New England Patriots. Well, guess what? The New England Patriots stop the main target. What is the main target of Indy? Jonathan Taylor. They're going to concentrate on Jonathan Taylor. I think that's going to open up room for Pittman, actually. So I like Pittman. I like Ayuk. Yes, I think you were on the right track on that. So I'm with you. If I had the choice between the two, I'm sticking with Ayuk and Michael Pittman.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, Mark, for dropping that question. And, as we always say, calculator, you send us a question, we're going to answer it. So if you post them in the comment, you send them put us in the comment sections, we are going to give you an answer, either if it's on the show live or even if you just go in on the re-airs and put comments in there. Mr. 4-1 will make sure that the calculator analyzes it and gets the response back to you. So just keep dropping them. I mean, we're still going to be here. You still have the DFSs. You still have, leagues that
Yep.
play all the way to the last week of the season. So, continue to follow us and send that information in. We will respond.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right, calculator. We are at the end. My
Yes.
goodness. I mean, this
Well,
is
didn't have a lot to talk about with waiver wires, so
Yeah.
it's just saying, but like I said, if Rashad Penny's out there, Kendrick Bourne's out there, if you suffered an injury, it's always good to have, lottery tickets at the end for the playoff run that you can hopefully scratch off if it's a lottery ticket.
Absolutely. Stay tuned and also stay abreast of all the information that's happening throughout. We're still in that unusual time in the world. With a lot of the virus out there and and then you have all these injuries and just all kind of things are popping up. So be ready to make moves and be prepared.
Well, and Mr. 411, we saw it just today. Last second announcements on people getting COVID and they're out, and people like the calculator himself. I had Tyler Higbee in the playoffs. No playoffs on the line. Higbee's out at the last minute. So you got to prepare to pivot. Because you never know what's going to happen. It can happen right the day of. So yeah, always be prepared, especially when you have those Monday night games. Those are always tricky. That's why I've always said, if you have an earlier game and you're going to start a player, put him in that position. Like if it's a wide receiver run at, put him in that wide receiver running back slot and leave that flex position open, because that's where a pivot can be made.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, you're right, calculator. Great advice. And by the way, I'm playing fantasy basketball. I mean, Chicago Bulls have 9 players. You know what I'm saying? That are out because of the virus. You know what I mean? So they're scooping up players from the developmental. Right now, and then the Charlotte Hornets. Recently, as 2 weeks ago, they ended up losing like 3 starters. Just like that, wiped out with the protocols. So even if they didn't have it, whatever the protocols are, players, they're getting wiped out. So stay alert and finish out your football season the way you need to.
Yeah, because that happened with the Chargers. Keenan Allen had it. However, Mike Williams, who was unvaccinated, got put into the protocol. If Mike Williams was vaccinated, he wouldn't have had to be out due to protocols. So that's just another tricky slope that we have to navigate as we go through this. We're seeing how things are handled differently, and now it looks like Keenan Allen could come back because he was vaccinated earlier than Mike Williams, and Mike Williams didn't even have it. Mike Williams, Mike Williams said, I didn't even. He said I had the sniffles, I had allergies. They said, oh, it might be the virus, you out. So,
see you.
Yeah, because it's a Thursday night game. It's a great Thursday night game with the Chargers and the Chiefs. So that's something definitely to be looking at.
That's right. All right, calculator. I'm Mr. 411, and on behalf of the calculator, we are out of here. Everyone have a great night.
Good night, everyone.